Hey, have you ever gotten blown across the room or ate the periodic table for breakfast and invented the saxophone at the end of the day? If your answer is yes to all of the above, you're probably Adolf Sax, the man who dodged death more times than Neo in the Matrix and somehow ended up inventing the saxophone. This is Adolf Sax, or his mom called him Antoine Joseph Sax, was born in 1814 in Belgium, Dinant, to a family of 11 kids, 6 brothers and 5 sisters, of whom he was the eldest. Why is he the eldest? Good question, Billy. To be the eldest, you need to be the firstborn or the ones older than you. Kick the bucket. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Only 4 of them survived to adulthood. As for the rest, they went on a permanent vacation to the skies between the ages of 20 and 25. But our boy Adolf, however, seemed to have a magical nope button when it came to death. Now, why and how did they die? To give you a good idea, let's look at Adolf's own survival records to understand what's going on. At the ripe old age of 3, our buddy Sax took a dive from 3 floors up or 3 flights of stairs. Sources couldn't decide on floors or stairs. Either way, he majorly injured his skull and spent some quality time in a coma. As a kid, Sax loves eating the usual junk food like us non-saxophone inventors. His go-tos are copper oxide chips, arsenic Cheetos, and white lead. I'm not exactly a chemist, but I do know lead and swallow are bad even if they're white. But this is not the only time he poisoned himself, it's actually 3 times. He nearly escaped asphyxiation and poisoning from varnished items in his bedroom. Now, why he stayed in that room after the 2nd time is a mystery lost to time. Later on, at the age of old enough to be next to gunpowder, he makes friends with a rogue gunpowder explosion, gaining a newfound appreciation for personal space. And another time, he fell on a stove, permanently burning one side of his body. When he was 10, he fell into a river without anyone's notice and forgot about the whole breathing thing, but his life was saved by his floating face, spotted by a villager. Another day in his dad's workshop, he was blown across the room by, you've guessed it, gunpowder. While walking down the street, a roof tile decided to play whack-a-mole on his head, leaving him comatose. Despite all this head trauma, Sax possessed a brilliant mind and a love for music. Thanks to his instrument-making pops, Charles, he became a musical prodigy playing the flute and clarinet under the teaching of his dad, who then made Sax his apprentice, and by the age of 20, he created his first invention, a 24-key clarinet, and numerous other clarinets. But with great power comes great jealousy from others around you. A soloist at the Great Royal Harmony in Brussels refused to use the all-new 24-key clarinet, so they had a playoff. Sax blew him away in front of 4,000 people. In 1840, Sax presented 9 inventions at the Belgium exhibition, but was denied the top medal because organizers thought he was too young and said if he were to win the gold medal so early, there would be nothing to offer him the following year, so they offered a consolation prize instead. But Sax rejected his prize and said, if I'm too young for the top medal, then I'm too old for any other medals. Now feeling too big for Dinant, he moved to Paris with 30 francs and invited composer Hector Berlioz to check out his instruments, earning an impressive review and establishing the Adolf Sax Musical Instrument Factory. That's where he birthed the glorious saxophone. Well, almost. He tried debuting the saxophone in 1841. Unfortunately, some jerk arrival damaged it, but it was actually a blessing in disguise as he hadn't patented the instrument just yet. Meaning, no debut, no copycats. Before patenting his inventions, Sax would like to secure a contract with the French military band and signed his instrument up for competition, which he won, because how could you not if you've never heard of an instrument as sexy as the saxophone? But my boy Sax just couldn't catch a break as his rivals formed an organization specifically to undermine him, leading to years of legal battles, slanders, and even physical threats, the whole shebang. The patent was finally granted in 1846 after he challenged his rivals to simply
replicate my design, bitch.
In 1852, Sax went bankrupt but bounced back in 1854 thanks to Emperor Napoleon III, who made him the musical instrument maker to the household troops. In 1859, Sax developed a severe tumor on his lips, but come on, this is Adolf freaking Sax. He wasn't gonna let some cancer take him down. He died in 1894 at the age of 79. From natural causes. He's buried in Montmartre Cemetery in Paris, leaving behind a legacy as the ultimate survivor and the inventor of the saxophone. So, there you have it folks, Adolf Sax, the man, the myth, the indestructible legend. The next time you hear a smooth sax solo, remember the man behind it, the man who danced with death laughed in the face of misfortune, and somehow invented one of the coolest instruments ever.